Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí níla tóga aya ach gona nasaí gáilta jamin chuáin a dheachad gona na dhéadaí chud sa tí gáilta chuáin Tlingit uchatangi chu atla tú chud sa títe ach tú yak'éi sa tí nílta cadúhan tá chuasa yak'éi aya yeey.aadí chhuilcéine yagi.
Yeah,
Welcome, everybody. My name is Anna in Khoikhon
just
Athabaskan.
noticed it this
I am
weekend.
called Nila Toga. Go ahead and mute your mics if you have them on right
Yeah.
now,
Yep.
and we will get started. So, if you were here a few minutes ago, you saw me quickly adapting my slides for this class. I just got back from Los Angeles and I was working on a play for a month. It was very, very fun. I'm very grateful that Ati reached out to me and asked me to teach. And so I got in a plane and flew back last night, and we're teaching today. But anyway, thank you for having grace with me today. It's very good to see you all. The other things I included in my self introduction are, besides my name, are that I'm German American on my mother's side. We're from the Funkhauser clan. And on my father's side, I'm Khoikhon Athabaskan. So the English translation of that is often I'm child of the Gunana or the Athabaskan people. But let me see how many people we have. We have 3 pages of people. So, one thing I like to do at the beginning of every class is get a feel for where people are at. And rather than make each of you explain that to me today, I put together a survey and I'll show it to you. And then I'll send that out to you after class so that you can just fill it out, let me know where you are, where your goals are at, and then we'll jump into learning a phrase, and that will be our day. So I'm very excited. This class is a lot bigger. Last time we met was end of May. So for those of you who are new to this class, it's a multi-level class, meaning you don't have to be classified into beginner, intermediate, or advanced to be here. I designed this class to appeal to multiple levels and to challenge you where you're at. A couple of the things I would share about the class are if you feel like you're being pushed beyond your comfort level where you're starting to get tired in your brain and you need to check out, that's that's something I design into the class so that I can teach multiple levels. So this is just full disclosure before we jump in, not to be hard on yourself here. I'm very big on positive self talk. If it's hard, then I'm doing my job. If it's easy, then that's also because I'm doing my job. And be kind to yourself as we go. Um, so I will share my screen and open up the chat. Okay. So this is the survey I made. I'm going to take you through the questions just so that I'm here with you, so that for the first time you're opening it up, you're not alone trying to figure out how to classify yourself. I put these questions together very specifically so that they're designed in I can statements, which is my favorite way to assess people's language abilities. So you simply will fill out your email address. This will help me keep in touch with you. You'll put your name. You can put your Tlingit name and your English name if you have one or both. And then these are the I can statements. So I put them in understanding, speaking, reading, writing. And so for understanding, I used ability levels that I relate to from my Tlingit language journey. And you can select multiple options so you don't have to be restricted to one. So the first one, I can understand people's self-introductions. If that's true for you, check it. Next, I can understand when I'm being told what to do. For example, commands like come here, hagu, sit, speak. I can understand songs. Some people learn through music. I can understand part of people's conversations, speeches, or stories. I can understand most or all of people's conversations, speeches, or stories. Here I'm talking about recorded stories. I'm talking about when people get on stage at celebration, when people introduce themselves in the class, things like that. When it comes to writing Tlingit, I can write my own or other people's Tlingit names. I can write a few words. I can write a sentence. I can write down some of what I hear. If people are speaking and I'm trying to write down what I hear, I can write down some of it. Or I can transcribe and translate audio recordings. So if you're studying a recording at home and you're hearing it, are you able to write down some or all of what you hear? Then when it comes to reading Tlingit, I can read parts of written stories. I can read most or all of a written story. I can read Tlingit place names. I can read clan names. I can read a note or letter in Tlingit. If you get an email. And then for speaking, I can say a few words. I can say a few greetings. I can sing a song. I can recite part or all of a story. I can speak to a crowd. I can carry a conversation with some difficulty. This one for me, for example, if I run into an elder at the grocery store, we'll sometimes be talking and I can get easily through the greetings, hello, how are you? And then if they're asking me, where are you living these days? I'm like, oh yeah, did you say this? You know, like you need a little bit of, what was that? To me, that's where I'm at. I can carry a conversation with some difficulty, or I can carry a conversation without help. And then that's it. And then the last question in the survey is one language goal of mine. So this will be one language goal that you're hoping to achieve by the end of this semester. This class will run today through December 12th, every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. using the same Zoom link. So you can take time to think about what is one language goal, and then fill it out. And that's the survey. I'll send it out at the end of class so that you can fill it out at your own pace. Are there any questions so far about anything we've gone over? So excited. This is the biggest class I've taught in a long time, and I'm just excited to see you all.
Um,
Mhm.
how do I fill out the form?
I'll email it. I'll ask Ati Ati, will you be able to email it to everybody? And then you'll get a link and then you just click the boxes. I need to test it first before I can give it to you. Otherwise, I would do it now. But you should get it in your email. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also just a little bit nervous because even though I am Tlingit, I have no comprehension of the language, of understanding, speaking, anything like that. So
Yeah.
this sounds like it's a little bit more advanced.
Okay, that's good feedback. Thank you for letting me know because I quickly made these I can statements, but maybe I need to include some more that are that include like I know one word or something that's more beginner level. Does that sound
I
more
know one
appropriate?
word, which is goodness cheese.
Ah,
Which
okay.
that's it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. I'll edit the survey so that it reflects more very entry level I can statements. Because for me, it's been 5 years by now. So I need to put a little more thought into like when I just started, what were some things I could do? Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank
thank you for
you.
that. Mm-hmm.
And just for folks that are new coming in, we are really lucky to have Anna teaching us. And she creates a really brave and safe space for learning. So this is a place where we're going to offer a lot of love and support. We're going to fumble our way. Some people will be more advanced than others, but we learn through love and we're going to learn together. So we're really happy to have everyone here and really grateful to have such a strong teacher.
Oh,
Yeah, gonas tíis. Ach,
goodness,
tui pe.
jeez.
Gonas tíis you, Chatangi. Thank you for your words. Okay, speaking of my teaching style, I'm going to take you through a lesson I made this fall. And this looks like a lot. This is my whole brief self-introduction in Tlingit, but then we're going to zero in on one phrase and break it down by sound. So the way it goes is Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí. Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí. Nila toga aya ach gunana sai. Jamen kwana yechat. Gunana yedichat siti. Llingit yuqatangi qoatlatu qatsiti. I'm going to fix a spelling mistake. Qoatlatu qatsiti. Okay, so let's focus on this phrase. So do your best to repeat after me. This is when I'll ask everyone to unmute your mics. Unless you have construction going on outside your window or there's like some reason where you really need to keep it off. But even though there are a lot of us, I can still hear you even as you all chime in. So remember, reminder to be kind to yourself. Don't put pressure on yourself to do it right. We're going to start with a whole sentence and then we're going to break it down by piece. So we take a breath and repeat after me. Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí.
Awesome. So now just by sound, everyone repeat after me. Yeah.
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 And then this next sound, K.
Eh.
You see this apostrophe after the K here?
Yes.
That makes it a pinched sound. So without the apostrophe, it would sound like K. With the apostrophe, it sounds like K. It's sharp. Yeah, sharp and snappy, and you really hear it.
A.
Yeah, so one more time, repeat after me. K.
A.
The other thing I want you to see is this tone mark above the E. Tlingit has high tone vowels and low tone. So if you compare it to this ya, there's no tone, so it just stays a low tone. So repeat after me. Ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a
Now do the next one, high tone. A.
K.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A.
Yep. So repeat
Yeah.
after me.
Yeah.
Yak'éi.
Yuck.
That's awesome. And again, yak'éi. Mm. Okay, repeat after me. Hot. Yeah, the two A's together make it a long, so you're gonna make it long and low. It's gonna last a nice long time. Repeat after me one more time. Hot. Okay. Next word, next sound, yee. Yeah, and this Y at the end needs to be pronounced. So you might initially just want to say ye, but make sure you close your mouth on that Y, or not close your mouth, but make sure you pronounce that Y, that rounding at the end. So repeat after me, yee.
Yeey.
There you go. Yeah. And this next one, aadí.
Aadí.
Very good. You sound awesome. So these two sounds together, repeat after me. Yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
One more time. Yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
Now these three sounds together. Haat yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
Uh-huh. So you're gonna have long and low vowel with the double A, long and low vowel with the double E, long and low double A, and the only high tone in this is at the end. It's a short high I. So repeat after me, just this last sound. D. So these two sounds together. Yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
And then the all three together. Haat yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
Yeah. Patty, you have a question? Mm. Yeah, there you
Yeah, I
go.
was just curious, what are we saying?
Mm. Good question. No spoilers. Okay, I'll teach you this part because it makes grammatical sense. The reason I don't have translations the whole time are that, for example, this is not a word, but it's part of a word. And in Tlingit, the word order is going to be different from English. So that's why I haven't translated it yet, just because I don't want to confuse you. The whole phrase, though, what we're learning to say is Yak'éi haat. Yeah, this means it's good that you all have come here. Yeah. So this is a phrase that's meant for when addressing multiple people. Quick side note, the word for walking in Tlingit is different for one person walking as compared to multiple people walking. It's a completely different root word. So this is something you say to multiple people. It's a welcoming phrase. You're literally saying it's good that you have come when you're talking to multiple people.
Hey, Anna, make me
Yeah.
a co-host and I can manage sound when people should be on mute.
Okay, thank you for doing that. Yeah, some people might be on a meeting or have background noise. I'll make you a co-host.
And then for those of you that are new in this space, because we are doing the callbacks, it's really helpful to mute yourself if you have other sounds happening, and then unmute if you're really just doing this one thing.
Okay. I'll figure out how to make you a co-host next time. But for now, I'll just manage that. Thank you for the reminder. Okay. Uh-huh. So let's get back into our lesson. From the top, yeah.
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 K.
K. K.
Yak'éi.
Hey,
Haat. Yeey.
Yeey.
One more time, really pronouncing this Y at the end. Yeey.
Yeey. Yeey.
Yee.
Yeey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Or is it just yeah?
Yee.
Yeah.
There you go. That sounded good. And then aadí. Yeey.aadí. Haat yeey.aadí.
Haat.
yeey.aadí.
Haat yeey.aadí.
Haat.
yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi haat.aadí.
And that's the whole phrase. You just learned how to say to a group of people, it's good that you've come here. This is a really good phrase for opening up. So as you could see, I put it at the very beginning of my example self-introduction. The very first thing I say to a group of people if I'm introducing myself to them is, it's good you've come here. So I start with a welcoming phrase and go into my self-introduction. Are there any questions about this?
Could you pronounce, or is there a word that's without the Y at the end of ye? Ye?
Yeah, for comparison.
Yeah.
Yep. Good question. So let's add a slide. So I'll do this one. Okay, so the question was, can we do a comparison between this type of sound, which is called a diphthong, where you have a vowel followed by a rounding sound. And so to compare it to a word that doesn't have this Y at the end, we could say, ye. Let me think of one that has ye.
Yeegudi.
That one's close. That one's shorter. By the way, yeey.aadí means that you came, and this is for plural. And let's do a smaller font here. Okay. And then yugudi means that you came for a singular person. So let's start with this one. It's a difference. It's besides missing the Y, it's also yugudi is shorter. But let's practice. So let's do. Okay, repeat after me. Yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
One more time, and I'll really overpronounce this ye.
yeey.aadí.
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 And now repeat after me. Yugudi.
Yeegudi.
So that's just part of a phrase. A whole complete phrase would be like, for example, hot, which means to here. I mean, to like this location. So let's do that one too. Repeat after me. Haat yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
Again. Haat
Yeey.aadí.
yeey.aadí.
That's close, but I'm hearing you go up with a hot ye, so you're gonna still say low tone. Hot yeey.aadí.
I have a quick question, Anna.
Yep.
So with your vowels, I do know the vowels I, e, and so the I is because it's singular and the E is because it's plural, right? Is that how that goes or no?
Sometimes it is, not all the time, but sometimes that is correct. Yeah.
It's just for this instance, it seems like it would be, right?
It is. For this instant, you are talking to multiple people with this phrase and one person with this phrase. And you do have the indicator for who you're talking to is right here in the word. Yeah. So this as a breakdown, not to get too in depth because it's our first day. Yeey.aadí is you all, and then this y is that it occurred. It's indicating that it happened. Whereas this one is you singular. And then you'll see here, goot is a totally different verb root from ought. So you have for one person to walk and multiple people to walk. What other questions do you guys have? I'll pull up the phrase book while we're doing that, while you're come up with questions.
There's a question in the chat about the breakdown of the words, like what means what in that statement.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's do it. So for the breakdown, the way I like to do breakdowns are like this. Table. Okay, so we have our whole phrase. Yak'éi, haat, yeey.aadí. And I'm going to put a table here.
Okay, yeey.aadí.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's do a breakdown. Yak'éi. Who knows what yak'éi means?
Good.
Yeah, it means it is good. And what about hot?
Here.
That here?
To this plate, to here.
Location.
Yeah, to here.
Only because you just said it.
Yeah. And then yeey.aadí. What does this one mean?
That you came.
Yeah, that you came. And I'm gonna mark it with a P in brackets. That to note we're talking to multiple people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's good to hear that you came.
Yeah, exactly. It seems odd, right? When we break it down in English.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that for anyone who's been learning Thlingit for a while? Why does it sound so odd in English when you break it down by phrase?
I'm just going to say it from my German background is because you can't translate things word for word. If I were to speak German and then break it down or English, it's going to become a much longer sentence. And it doesn't sound grammatically correct.
Exactly. Yep. The other difference, the other reason it makes very little it makes it awkward when you break it down literally in English is because the word order is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not quite backwards, but one thing I encourage folks to do when you're learning phrases is to write down the parts directly beneath what you're seeing. So when I started taking Tlingit, I would write my notes like this. It is. And so you have like these nice big spaces between what you're writing, and then you have the translation right beneath it so that you can remember what each part means, but you also can see that it's out of order from what English would be. And over time, you start to get used to it. Like I said, this is a multi-level class, so for people who are brand new, this might seem like a lot, but this is something for you to work toward. So here we have hot to here, meaning to this place. And I'll make these a little smaller. And then this yeey.aadí, that you all came. What you're doing here is called a gloss. So when you write down a sentence in Tlingit and then write down what each part means in English, what you're doing is a gloss, and it's a very beginning level linguistic exercise so that you can start to make sense of the way the language gets put together. I don't expect anyone here to be doing that already, but as you begin to look up words in the dictionary and put sentences together and internalize the parts, for me, I found it even from the beginning stage to be helpful, at least to chunk them in pieces so that I can start to internalize that. So, one difference looking at this sentence right away, we have that you all came comes after to here. So, in English, that would have been it's good that you all came here. But in Tlingit, we put where first, and then we say that you came to hear that you came.
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that you do that?
It's just the way the language is put together. It's a very sophisticated language that has been adapted over millennia to perfectly describe how to thrive on the lands it comes from. And my only explanation I can give as a learner is that it makes the most sense to give the information that way. That's a good question for Khone, but all I can say is that I want you to start internalizing that haat comes before yeey.aadí. So go ahead and repeat after me. Haat yeey.aadí.
Haat
yeey.aadí.
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 That you all came here.
Yeey.aadí.
Yeah, and then the whole phrase, repeat after me. Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi
Haat
haat
yeey.aadí.
yeey.aadí.
Yeah. Do you guys feel good about that phrase so far?
Yes.
It's okay to laugh.
Can
What?
you pronounce it one more time?
Uh-huh. I'll make it bigger too. Okay. So the whole phrase, Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi
Haat
haat
yeey.aadí.
yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí.
Yak'éi haat
Yeah. You sound good, and then just make sure you're pronouncing this T at the end. Hot.
Yak'éi haat
Yeah. Yeey.aadí.
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 Was it E or I? Is it a day or a D?
The I in this word is pronounced shorter than a double E, but a very similar sound. So it's aadí.
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 Yeah.
Aadí. Aadí.
Yeah. And you sound good. I can hear that you're making it high tone. Any other questions on this before I have a couple different notes I want to share about it?
Why is there a dot after ye? Is it a kind of pause?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm French. I was asking why is there a dot after ye? Is it a pause?
That's a good question. So I'm gonna make this text a little bigger. This leads into my next slide, which I love. Let's do. Sorry, I'm still editing my slides. Okay, so a little bit about why there's a period or a dot in the middle of the sentence or the middle of the word. The period in the middle of yeey.aadí. So yeey.aadí is one word, and it means that you all came, that you all walked here. The period in the middle is to tell you how to pronounce it. So it's called a glottal stop. A period notes where you stop the air while you're speaking. Usually it comes between vowels or between like a Y and a vowel. And for example, everyone repeat after me, say, uh-oh.
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 The way you stopped your air in the middle of uh-oh is a glottal stop. It's the same exact sound.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. If you didn't have a glottal stop, if you didn't have this period in the middle of yeey.aadí, it would sound like this. Yeey.aadí. It would
yeey.aadí,
yeah,
yeey.aadí,
it would just
yeey.
be like yeeya. It would just go straight into yeeya, but you're stopping the air. So repeat after me. Yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
One more time. Yeey.aadí.
Yeey.aadí.
Yeah. How did that feel? Does anyone have more questions about that? Good question, Chloe. Gunatish, thank you for that. Where else? I think I had one more. I guess not. Okay, so I'm going to take you into a resource. Somebody earlier asked if I could pronounce a word where instead of having the Y after the double E, it's just ye. And I had a brain fart and I was like, what word could I use? I just had one. It happens all the time. So now I'm going to take you where I would go as a learner to look up a word for an example. I'm just going to bring you with me because I want you to start learning to use the dictionary. So I'm going to put this link in the chat so everyone has it. This is the blog hosted by René Lance Twitchell, and he is my teacher and my professional mentor, and he does a remarkable job of making Tlingit language learning materials accessible to everyone. So if you are not able to purchase all these materials in print, you can find a free online version here at the website at the link I just put in the chat. So go ahead and open that up. And the first place I'll take you is the resources tab. If you hover over resources, I'm gonna zoom out so you can see it a little better. I tend to zoom in really close. Okay. So here at Tlingit Yucatangi, the Tlingit language, you can hover over this resources tab and you can either go straight to the dictionary or you can go to beginning materials, and the dictionary is also here. Open the dictionary, and this is a PDF version. If you want to download it so that you can open it up in Acrobat or whatever software you have on your computer and use it when you don't have internet, that's a good option. So I'm going to click download, and I'm pretty sure I already have it downloaded. And then you can open it up in your files. And I'm going to open mine. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen that shows my new window. And I'll do my whole desktop so that I don't have to switch back and forth. So now I have the dictionary open and I want to look up a word. So if you have it downloaded, you can look up words a couple different ways. If you have Adobe, then you can scroll down to the Y section and click on it. And go to YEE. A shorter way, if you don't want to scroll for 7 years like I just started doing, is you can open up your search bar. So how many people, raise your hand if you're on an Apple computer. Okay, and raise your hand if you're on a PC. Basically any computer that's not an Apple. Okay, so Okay, awesome. I see some hands raised. So if you're on an Apple computer and you want to look up a word in the dictionary, you are going to hold down Command and press F. So find Command on your keyboard, hold it down and press F. That opens up your search bar so you can find a word specifically and jump to it. So say I want to find any word that starts with YEE. I'm just going to type it into my search bar. And it has some recommendations for me here that I can jump to. I can select any of these words, or I can just hit enter and it'll start taking me through every single appearance of YEE in the dictionary. So that would probably take a little longer than I want. So I'm going to type it in again. This time I'm going to take their suggestion for YEE. And we have an entry for ye when it's a word on its own. So earlier, one of the students in this class asked the question, if you have YEE, doesn't that mean you're talking to multiple people? And sometimes it is. So ye, when it's on its own as a word, literally means you, when plural. So you can see the English translation here is kind of funky, you alls, you all. It's just saying when you're talking to somebody directly and there are multiple people. We have ye with you all. Ye dat is now, right now. Yeah, so let's use ye dat as our example and add it to our slides. We can compare the pronunciation. So we have ye dat. And so back to our pronunciation question, we're going to compare yeey.aadí with yeedat. So repeat after me, haat yeey.aadí.
HTL
And now repeat after me, yeedat.
That
Yeah. It's subtle. The difference is subtle, but do you hear a difference? Okay. This is a word that I've been encouraged to make sure I'm stressing this Y, because as I'm even not very long ago, I would kind of skip the Y, and fluent speakers can hear that when you're missing it. So really make sure you pronounce that Y after ye in yeey.aadí. Any questions so far?
I had a question.
Uh-huh.
I was participated in the last class last semester, and are we gonna continue from there?
Yes. Did you like that?
I did. It was really great.
Okay. So what Michelle is referring to is the last class we were working in the beginning Tlingit workbook. And just to give everybody an idea of what that looked like for us. The book that we'll use is, again, tlingitlanguage.com. Under resources, beginning materials. The top link is the beginning Tlingit workbook. So go ahead and click that and download it on your device as well. I saw somebody ask in the chat, can we download it on our phone to make it more accessible? And the answer is yes, you can. You just need to figure out how to use the search function on your phone, which is very doable. It'll save you a lot of scrolling on your phone if you have the whole dictionary, if you're able to find your search function. So since we're on the topic of how we studied last semester and how we'll continue on, this is Tlingit Ganesh Dudultuk. It's the workbook for beginning to study Tlingit. This was put together by René Lance Twitchell and he based it off the original book, Beginning Tlingit, which was by Keochne Kekwainuk, Nora Marks Dowenhauer, and Richard Dowenhauer. I am a big fan of this book. I love the images. I love the breakdowns. You can see a lot of areas where you can practice your gloss, like we talked about, noting what a word or a part of speech means right below it, so you can start to internalize the word order. Other things I like about the book are the table of contents is really straightforward. We last term made it through this chapter Dasaya, and then I think we started Dasawe Yatin. So go ahead and repeat this phrase after me. Just do your best, repeat after me. Dasawe Yatin.
Das.
Yeah, you sound good. And just a quick heads up on how we generally do this. Each chapter starts with a dialogue. I learned from Shirley Kendall to just introduce a dialogue 2 lines at a time. So if we go back into studying these, we'll just do 2 lines at a time. And then there are these really fun images that Rene put together for vocabulary. We usually drill these, and then I learned last semester in my teaching journey to limit it to 3 or 4 words per session, and then add on from there. And the other thing I really like about this book is that it, from beginning to end, it starts out with words and sounds that are simplest to make for people like me who grew up speaking English, and progresses into the underline, the glottal, the uvular sounds, the pinched sounds that take a little more finesse using your vocal instrument that Tlingit makes full use of, that we don't necessarily do in English. Okay, so a lot of questions in the chat, and I'm going to catch up really quick before I let you go. Yes, you can access the recordings later. I started a YouTube channel, and I'll just give you the link. I'll also share these with Rene in case he has time to upload them to his. But I'll make sure that you have access to them. Yep, the recordings can be found on this website, Beginning Tlingit. So for people that want to access recordings, including the ones that we did last fall and last spring, you can go to tlingitlanguage.com, and if you hover over Learning Tlingit, you can scroll down to this class's page, which is the one hosted by Hatuch Lachish and KTOO.
And this semester also Discovery Southeast, so Ganashchish to our partners.
Yak'éi. Yak'éi. And the website has the same resources we've been going over. You can also find these in the resources tab, but these are some resources we recommend for this class. And then if you scroll down far enough, you'll get to our class recordings, these are just basically links to Rene's YouTube channel where he kindly uploaded all our classes. So if you want to catch up and see what we did last term, have at it. Good question. Thank you. Are there any more questions? So let me make sure I didn't miss anything in our slides. So the whole translation I put for my self-introduction. Sorry, I'm still figuring out my font sizes. So let me put this. This was my self-introduction I shared with you today. Again, we just focused on one phrase because that's how I like to teach. I want to hear you make the sounds. I want you to feel comfortable really getting to know it before we jump into a long speech. but this was my self-introduction. Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí nila toga aya qunana sayi jaman kwana yechet qunana yedich city. Klingetur atangi ku atletur city. And this is the translation. It is great that you have come here. My Athabascan name is Nila Torah. I am German American on my mother's side. I'm child of the Athabascan people, which, in other words, I'm Athabascan on my father's side. I am a Tlingit language teacher. How many people here, quick show of hands, would like to work on their self-introductions over this term? Okay, some people are comfortable, some people would like to. Okay, cool.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable, but I would just like to learn something.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
And it would impress my sisters.
Yeah, good. I love that. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go unless there are any more questions before we part ways.
So where are you at right now, like in Canada?
I'm in Anchorage on the land of the
Oh, in
Dene.
Alaska.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, because I'm in BC and I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. Why isn't it starting yet? But
Oh, are you guys an hour ahead of us?
yes. So
Okay.
it's now almost it's 11:52 my time, so it must be 10:52 your time.
Yes, it is. Oh,
So that
sorry.
makes sense.
Okay, I'm sorry we kept you waiting.
Oh, no worries. I was just like, well, this sucks. I'm waiting, and I even sent an email going, it's 10:15. I'm waiting, nothing's happening. And then, get an email back saying, are you in a different time zone? And I'm like, I must be, because I said, I don't know, I'm from BC. And
Okay, thank you.
Oh.
I'm the same way with time. I'm like, hello, it's time. So
Yeah.
I totally get you. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the German in me or not, but it's like 10 o'clock means 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're busy, right?
Yeah, but it was very good. I enjoyed it, and my sisters are all excited, and it's something for me to learn because I was adopted. So
Awesome.
to learn, and my band's in Carcross. It's the Carcross Bagish, so that's in the Yukon.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So
Thank
yeah,
you for sharing.
you're welcome.
Yeah. Any other questions? Comments?
Can we say our phrase one more time?
Yeah. Let me take you there.
I wrote it down.
Nice. So the phrase we learned today that means it's good you all have come here is Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí. And let's do it again. Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí. And one more time. Yak'éi haat yeey.aadí. Yeah. Okay. Good job. Well, good job today. I feel proud of you. I will send the survey to Ati after I double check that it works and ask you all to fill it out. If you can fill it out by the end of the week, then we have your starting point and we'll give you a measurement of success. I want your success to be tied to your goals, not just some, there's a lot of different ways to measure success. It's important for me that it's connected to what you want to learn. If there's no more questions, Ati, am I missing anything? Did you have anything to add?
No. If this is your very first time, what I'll do when I email folks is I'll link out that intro video that Hune and others have shared are just around like the pronunciation of the Tlingit alphabet, so that those base sounds are available for folks. And it feels really good to be back together after many months, and yeah, so thank you for hosting a beautiful class, and thank you to everyone who joined us today.
Okay. Okay.
Well, buenas noches.
Buenas dias.
Johansu, Gunalchish. We'll see you, Kwasatine. We'll see you again.
Buenas cheese.
Buenas cheese.
Yeah, Constantine.
Buenas
Buenas dias.
Buenas cheese.
Hey, Margaret.
Everybody's buddies are on here.
Hit her at the last second.
Yeah. Okay.
See you later.
Okay, I'll see you guys. I'll see you next week. Have a good day.